Thunderbolts coming out and us having the character named Bob, who should be Robert the Sentry, we have to ask the question, who is Sentry?
Oh, no.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Sentry was created when the American and Canadian governments got together to recreate the super soldier serum. This same serum found in the likes of Captain America, Isaiah Bradley, Natasha Romanoff, and other Black Widows. But in March of 1947, the Canadian and American government got together to try to recreate that serum, and they landed on the Golden Sentry serum. 10 years later, a man named Robert Reynolds, a former meth addict, broke into the lab and consumed the serum because he wanted to get high, which he didn't. He ended up getting superpowers instead. Robert Reynolds then got the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns and became the Sentry. Getting this power ended up killing the partner that he broke into the lab with and the lab's guards, unfortunately. The members of Project Sentry were appalled by what had happened, and they ended up asking Robert if he would stick around so they could test his powers, but Robert was kind of obsessed with the idea of using these powers for good, so he wasn't contained for long. This caused Project Sentry to get shut down, and all of the samples of the serum were destroyed. Shortly after, the Sentry made his debut in the superhero world, and he had even made a costume for himself to do so. He was pretty well accepted. He fought alongside the Fantastic Four, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, and many more. He ended up getting married to Lindy, and shortly after she learned about his addiction, but it didn't really change her opinion on him, but she did worry that taking the serum may have awakened something that wasn't great. And she was right. Because of the arrival of Sentry, we also have the arrival of the Void, which is like a shadowy monster that kind of embodies the fears of its enemies. And the Void was made from the dark aspects of Sentry's powers, so, sun and dark. And one of the ways that Sentry decided that the Void could be defeated is enlisting Reed Richards and Doctor Strange into making sure that the entirety of Earth's population forgot that he existed. And when Sentry was forgotten, the Void vanished as well. Sometime far along the line, Yelena Belova actually attacks the Avengers and tries to absorb Sentry's powers. She does defeat the Avengers, but she was defeated by the Void. Over the years, Sentry has struggled with his ability to understand what is real and what isn't real because the Void seems to be manipulating his idea of reality and feeding him lies that aren't entirely true. After becoming one of the heralds of the apocalypse, he was dead. He ends up trying to wander the cosmos, hoping that something will eventually kill him so he doesn't have to deal with the Void and all of this anymore. He eventually finds his way back to Steven, who he asks to try to solve his problems, to kill him, and Steven's like, I don't know how to do that, so I guess I could lock you in your own mind and you at least don't have to deal with reality, so he does that. And that only lasts so long because Loki ends up taking the Sorcerer Supreme title from Strange, and then Strange goes to Sentry to get help to invade Asgard, to get power from Yggdrasil to become the god of magic. And the thing is that he actually uses Sentry to take on the cost of his magic for all of this, so that Steven doesn't actually have that toll on his own body, so Sentry is actually taking on the weight of all of this magic use that he's doing, because his body can handle it. This is not a new concept in the comics. A lot of Sorcerer Supremes have other people who will actually take on the weight of the cost of magic for them. This, in this case, is just really powerful Sentry. But in this comic run, Steven actually has the Void locked up behind a door in the Sanctum Sanctorium. Sentry has to come and fight the Void, as well as Steven and Loki. And when the fight is over, Sentry actually confronts Steven about letting the Void free because he's really upset about it, and he says, don't ever contact me again, Steven. We're done. Don't talk to me ever again. Sometime after this, Null actually kills the Sentry by ripping Sentry into pieces, and Wilson Fisk actually hires the Thunderbolts to retrieve those two pieces to try to create a bomb that will kill Null, because Null has started living in New York. But they don't actually do that because Taskmaster is the head of the Thunderbolt at this time, and they actually make an illusion that seems like they killed everybody in an explosion, but they never did. Instead, they take the body of Sentry to Fisk and use it as collateral in some ways to ask that Fisk makes them New York's official superhero team. And Fisk complies, and they are the official superhero team of New York. This is a very brief rundown of Sentry because Sentry's been around since like the early 2000s, but it is what I could pinpoint that would be important in the next few arcs in this next phase of Marvel things. Since we have Thunderbolts and we have Born Again and all of this stuff coming up, it's what I would assume is happening with Sentry. But I hope this answered all your questions about Robert or Sentry or Bob. If you like this, be sure to leave a comment and like and subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want to know when Geek is posting other videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to stay geeky. Bye!